Hello, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sharice. And in this message today, guys, I am calling all the chosen ones, all the 144,000 out there, all the star seeds, all the children of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And in this message, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you my story on when my spiritual awakening happened for me and the signs and the things that started to happen to me and in my life and the timeline I was in and the circumstances and things that started happening in my life once I was awakened from the matrix. Okay, so my awakening happened literally the day of the COVID outbreak. The COVID outbreak happened March 13, 2019. At the time, I was working in New Rochelle, New York, and in that same area was where the outbreak began. And on that day, when it literally outbreak and began, I heard literally like a huge pitch ring in my ears. Like it was so loud. I swear, and I thought my eardrums were going to burst. I felt my body getting heated up, and it was so strange. That was my first ever download that happened, and I did not know what was happening to me. And I went to my matrix doctor and explained this to him. And my matrix doctor told me, "Oh, you're just suffering from tinnitus." I'm like, what the heck is a tinnitus? This is the medical classification that they gave for this spiritual connotation that was happening. And I'm like, this don't make no sense because what I heard, and it's so hard to describe. I want you guys to comment down below when your awakening happened. Where were you? What city and what age? And describe what was it like? Because for me, that very first download I had, right? Very first awakening I had, the pitch is like a vibration. It was like a vibrational sound, and it was so like loud. It was like, and nobody else can hear it. I would look around and I said, "Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Can you hear that?" And people are like, No, I don't hear nothing. Nothing is happening. What were you talking about? It was like, and it was like so loud though, and only I could hear it. People outside of that couldn't hear that. They couldn't hear it. They didn't know what I was talking about. And then after that, literally, I started seeing synchronicity. When I was lost in the world and I was following after the light of this world, our God says the broad road leads to death and destruction. When I was in that world, clubbing, twerking, partying, drinking, living for pleasure, living for the flesh, living for carnality, living for the light of this world. When I was lost, I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't see nothing. I didn't see the signs. I didn't see angels. I didn't see synchronicity. I didn't see nothing. I was literally a zombie program just going along like a robot. And then I start drifting out of that, out of nowhere like that. It happened overnight. All of a sudden, the things I used to do, I didn't want to do no more. I don't want to hang out no more. I don't want to party no more. I don't want to be all on social media no more. I went ghost. Off of social media for years. People are like, "Oh, where are you from?" or whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't have social media. They look at me weird. I was 20 years old when I woke up. I'm now 25 years old. And since then, God has not left me alone. Since then, the angels have not left me alone. Since then, the downloads has not left me alone. Whenever God wants to communicate with me, he downloads. And now it doesn't bother me. Now the downloads is not as loud because now I know what it is. Now I know. And the first synchronicity I got was 11:11. I started seeing 1:1:1:1. And I'm like, why am I seeing this? And I never used to pay attention to none of it. Maybe God was showing me before that. But I was not awakened. I was not paying attention. And all of a sudden, I start noticing that. And then all of a sudden, I got led to the book of Revelation 11:11. And then I read it. And it said here, I have my Holy Bible right here, King James. And it says here, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And I said, God, what is this? What is this? And then this whole chapter was talking about the two witnesses. It talked about the 144,000. It talked about those that believes in God. These are people that are set apart for God. These are people that are called in this last days that's going to be doing the work of God. And it says that they were martyred. And then in 3 days they rose again, just like Christ rose again. God breathed his breath into those witnesses, into those two witnesses, and they rose again. And great fear fell upon the heathens who killed them. I was like, this is crazy. I need to now know more about this God. And so I started longing for God. I started searching for God. I was laid off of work. And I'm like, God, I trust that you're going to provide food for me. That's when COVID happened. And I was like, God, I trust you're going to provide for me. But I started going to parks. I started going alone to places alone, driving, finding parking space where nobody else is. And I would just break out the word of God and start reading it. And started changing the music and the frequencies that I listened to. Those garbage worldly music, I started changing that frequency. I started singing my own songs to God. I started reading his word and asking him questions and things. And then I started seeing the signs more. More signs start happening. I could see his presence more now. I could see his angels more now. And how he aligned the right people to come on my path. And so much good things started changing from there. While many people were running around in fear during that time, those 2 years, 2019 all the way up to 2021, I had no fear whatsoever. Oh, sickness and all these things. I could see through the matrix. I could see through the lying tongues of the politicians. I could see through every BS that was being spewed, the fear mongering that was being spewed. And I didn't have any of that. I refused was to cover up my breath of life, and wear a mask and all these hiding in my house and shut the blinds and living in that fearness, because God has ascended me to a greater place where there's no fear, there's no sorrow, there's no judgment. And it felt so beautiful. I had peace while people were walking around me miserable, fearful, tormented within themselves. God gave me that perfect peace and that light. And I am so grateful that he chose me out of this, that he woke me up in such a time as this, that I'm not blindly still going along like a lost bot, lost soul, just drifting to and fro. Satan just blowing people to and fro. They're just lost, not in their purpose that God placed them here. And that's the whole game of what we're in, is to harness and harvest our souls. That we die not fulfilling what we came here to fulfill by God. The enemy wants you to die in sin, die in the corruption of the flesh, never getting a chance to look within and take that time. And I'm so glad that that's what happened for me. That God allowed the whole world to stop so he could reach his children. Because there was no way that God was going to reach me if he didn't have love. I don't think so. The way I was going, just living for pleasure, living for money and material things, all about looking fly, looking good, and posting on social media and Instagram how I was deep into that stuff. deep into the makeup and the carnality and the jewelry and just accentuating my carnal flesh. And he stripped me of that. I needed COVID to happen to reach God. I needed the world to stop to reach God. I needed was to have lost my job to reach God. God had to stop the world to reach his children out there. And since then, I've been sealed in my forehead. There's no going back. I'm on that side. And every day, even though we are 144, and if you guys don't know what that is, 144 adds to 9. 9 is the number of truth. God is the truth and the way and life. He's all truth, and his word cannot be void. So those who name the name of him or are sealed by him or 144 or 9s are of the truth. We are of the light. We are of the truth. So that's why you will be hated, because you are of truth. And when you are of truth in a world of lies, you are the bad one. This is why you are going to be misunderstood. This is why you're going to be seen like you're crazy. This is why even when you don't do anything, people can see you are different, because you are different now. You have been fine-tuned. You have been activated. You have been ascended. You are in a complete different dimension of reality, of time, of body experience. You are. You're no longer of this dark world. You're not. You're not of them anymore. And because you're not of them anymore, you're separated and you look different. You look different. And if I can show you guys before and after picture of what I used to be like, caked up, fake hair, long nails, ratchet clothes, dressing half naked, showing off my body. If I can show you what God stripped me from to this is my bare face with no makeup. And I feel happy in who I am, confident more than ever in who I am since God woken me up. Loving myself more than ever. That I didn't need what the world was giving. I didn't need 20 pounds of makeup. I didn't need all those clothes and all those things and jewelry to feel beautiful and to look beautiful. Once I started accepting who I am and believing that I am, that God says I am, then there was no more of me funneling money to corporations, trying to fit in. I'm now happy to stand out. So this is my journey of how it began, and how it would end is determined by God. But I know that I'm happy either way. I know that I'm okay no matter what, because I know I'm sealed. I know my soul is saved. I know where I'm going, and I now know where I'm from. So, like and share and comment down below. This is my story, guys, of becoming a 144 and waking up to the 9, the truth. Thank you all. Be safe out there. God bless and keep all of you, my brothers and sisters, and stay strong, because even though we've waken up, we're in a battleground. You're tempted more than ever to fall back asleep. You're tempted more than ever to go back to the old ways that you are. It's a fight for our soul. The good against the evil, light against the darkness. The enemy wants us to go back to the way we used to be, but we cannot go back to that. So we must keep fighting the good war of faith, because our kingdom and where we're from suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. So we must fight and stay by force to protect our soul at no matter what you have to sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. So one love. Stay blessed. All my beautiful brothers and sisters, all 144s out there, all you chosen ones. Until next time. Peace.